We're talking today on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network with Andrew Hoiberg from Calcium Products, the sponsor of our pH Matters program on the network. Andrew, good morning. How's it going today?
Hey, Brent, it's going pretty good today. No complaints. Crops are starting to look a little crispy out there again, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more rain to carry us through the last developmental stages and to a successful harvest.
Yep, no doubt about that. And, here in July, we want to ask what the message and topic that Calcium Products is sending out to growers right now, Andrew.
Well, it's never too late, too early to start thinking about your late or early, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But it's never too early to start thinking about your fall liming applications. And we know what we've done this past year with respect to the nitrogen fertility that we put out. We know that there's been some acidification that's taken place, and so getting that maintenance rate out, 200 to 300 pounds per acre here once the crop comes off is something you can start thinking about now before things get too hectic.
Where does 98G fit into the equation, and why should farmers think about applying that product later this fall?
So, one of the things that we've really focused in on our research here for the last several years is these idea of maintenance rates, these lower rate, more frequent applications, so that we don't let pH become an issue over time. So we're kind of taking care of it every year, every other year. And so, we're seeing on average an 11.8 bushel per acre increase on corn with these 200 to 300 pound maintenance application rates. And that's with using 98G, as it could be blended in with other fertilizers, with your P and K, or as a standalone application, however it fits your situation. But those applications are showing a lot of benefit, after they've been put out.
Can you help us learn more about 98G itself, and just kind of talk about the product in general, just so in case our listeners want more info?
Sure. So, basically what we do is we take a very pure limestone source and we pulverize that into a powder, and then we build it back into pellets. And that's, being able to take advantage of all the purity and all the reactivity that's in that given limestone and put it into a pellet that allows for much more precise application. So we can really target that pH better than we can with traditional products. And we've also got a whole wealth of information on our website, trial work, product specs, use manuals, all that kind of fun stuff at calciumproducts.com. And of course, you can always ask your local agronomist about 98G pelletized limestone, and we can get you set up with recommendations and take a look at your soil tests and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. How about like the flexibility of application of 98G? Can you hit on that a little bit as well?
You bet. So because it's pelletized, it behaves, more like a traditional fertilizer than traditional liming materials do. And when you think more about these lower rate, more frequent applications, it really does become more like a traditional fertilizer application. And so that, really enhances its ability to be blended and put out in the fall, or to be blended and put out in the spring, or even, in some rare cases, we see it go out as a top dress application. If people just couldn't get around to their liming application in the fall or the spring, it goes out whenever it can, and whenever it needs to go out. 98G can fit that application flexibility, for any given scenario.
How about just the whole idea of maintaining soil pH? You might just, discuss how important that is when it comes to maximizing that yield potential.
Yep. So as your soil pH starts to get down below 6.0, you're starting to lose the availability of nutrients to the crop. And that can happen pretty quick. Traditionally, we look at soil testing every 4 to 5 years. And so we really don't have a good snapshot as to what's taking place in those intervening years between the soil tests. And so, one of the things we like to focus on is, we know how much nitrogen fertilizer we put out. We know how much acidification that creates in the soil. By calculating that, we can then go out with these maintenance rates, these 200 to 300 pound per acre application rates that offset that acidification that takes place. And so we're maximizing that yield every year, keeping the pH where it should be, maintaining it, rather than letting it slide and kind of, existing on the pH roller coaster, as it were.
Very good. Andrew, how can our farmer listeners get more information from your company today?
And you can feel free to reach out to us through our website. We got contact information for all of our sales reps, myself, or other folks on the agronomy team at calciumproducts.com, or ask your local agronomist. They can get you in touch with us as well.
Well, we appreciate the info as always, and thanks for coming on the program again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.